From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Hi there and welcome to Headliners. I'm Lauren Pastrana. It's the story making headlines across South Florida. Debris falling from the sky. A SpaceX rocket broke apart during a test flight from South Texas. This is the second time in 2 months something like this has happened to a SpaceX rocket. CBS News Miami's Mark Strassman reports.
What is going on right now?
Those sparks over the sky Thursday night sparked many questions.
Oh my gosh, it's like lighting up the water.
The bright lights seen in the Bahamas.
Oh, yeah, it's going down.
Over the Turks and Caicos Islands. And in Florida, where one spectator had the right answer for clusters of fire flying.
Hey guys! Starship!
That would be SpaceX's uncrewed Starship rocket. It was the 8th test flight of the world's largest and most powerful rocket, but it didn't fly far after lifting off from Boca Chica, Texas.
Stage separation.
It did fly its first stage booster back into the chopstick-like arms of its launch tower as planned and seemingly perfect. But nearly 2 minutes later, a malfunction. The rocket started to spin out of control while in space.
You can see we've lost several engines and we've lost attitude control of the vehicle.
SpaceX said the vehicle experienced a rapid, unscheduled disassembly and then lost contact with Starship. That's when people saw the spectacular show of debris in the sky. A very similar sight to what happened in January when another Starship also broke up over Turks and Caicos.
2 failures in a row for SpaceX, obviously a significant setback.
A setback in getting American boots back on the moon, says CBS News space analyst Bill Harwood.
The company has to put together a string of successful flights to convince NASA it's reliable enough and safe enough to put astronauts on board. And how long that's going to take is anybody's guess.
SpaceX, founded by Elon Musk, has billions of dollars in NASA contracts to use this rocket to return astronauts to the moon through the agency's Artemis program by 2027, and before China puts their own on the lunar surface. But Musk and his new boss also have big plans for the rocket to go beyond.
Elon, get those rocket ships going because we want to reach Mars before the end of my term. We want to do it.
For now, all Starship flights are on hold, while the FAA orders SpaceX to investigate. I'm Mark Strassman.
Concern over the possible dismantling of the Department of Education is mobilizing teachers all over, including here in South Florida. The United Teachers of Dade and the Broward Teachers Union say tens of thousands of children would lose benefits. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor joins us from Fort Lauderdale with more.
I'm concerned that my children are going to lose the programs that have helped them excel in education.
Lisette Fernandez is the voice of parents of children with special needs.
My son has ADHD. It's very hard for him to focus in the classrooms.
She told me only 2 years ago her 11-year-old son was barely passing his classes.
Now that they have given him the accommodations he needs, he's getting A's and B's. So I know these programs work.
Programs that are funded through the U.S. Department of Education. But the Trump administration wants to dismantle the department, sending what it calls more power to the states.
The Department of Education is important for Miami-Dade County Public Schools.
Under the umbrella Action Day, the United Teachers of Dade was one of the teachers' organizations nationwide sounding the alarm about the number of special ed students impacted should the U.S. Department of Education disappear.
We're talking about 33,000 kids in our classrooms that have an IEP, that benefit from these programs because they might have autism or learning disability.
An IEP, or Individualized Education Program, is a personalized plan that helps students with disabilities succeed in school. The president of the Broward Teachers Union told me there has been an increasing need in the last 20 years.
The parents could bring them in and they don't know if they have a diagnosis. And then they work through the Broward County Public Schools to help get them understood and diagnosed, and then that's where the funding comes in and helps.
The Department of Education was created by an act of Congress in 1979 and can only be closed by that same body. According to United Teachers of Dade, Tallahassee would end up doing the job. How do you feel about that?
I don't trust that the state of Florida will do what's in the best interest of my children. They have shown me with the vouchers bill that they passed a few years ago that has been given money to children to go to private schools as opposed to public schools.
Lizette Fernandez also told me that she is contacting her U.S. senators as well as congressmen to make them aware of the impact of dismantling the U.S. Department of Education on children like hers in the state of Florida. She encourages other parents to do the same. We are in Fort Lauderdale. Ivan Taylor, CBS News, Miami.
Tariffs have investors fearful of the consequences for the economy, and you may be wondering how that might affect your savings and your bottom line. CBS News Miami's Joan Murray has some answers.
Despite all the smiles at the opening bell, there was anxiety on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange.
It came out that the administration was putting on the new tariffs, and so the market reacted.
And the reaction was mostly negative, stocks down like they've been for the past week. But South Florida financial planner Franklin Gay said don't panic if your 401k is taking a hit.
I wouldn't go in and start changing anything in the 401k. I would just sit tight.
He says a lot of people jumped out of the market too fast during COVID and lost.
What really matters is the number at the end of the year and staying invested. It's not the timing of the market, it's time in the market.
When it comes to credit cards, experts say the average 24% interest rate is not expected to change anytime soon. Your biggest investment, your house, will continue to get more valuable in South Florida, but at a slower pace. If you are investing, spread your money around.
When we look at portfolio investors, when we look at retirement investors, we really encourage them to be in diversified portfolios, right? You want to be in the U.S., but you also want to be in international. You want to be in stocks, but you also want to be in bonds, because all of these different assets aren't going to act the same when we have these different downturns.
Work on what you can control, like how much you spend and how much you save.
Look to save even more. Try and put a little bit more in that nest egg to shore up your financial situation for that 2-year runway. But no, I wouldn't be changing the allocation, because like we saw in January, those tariffs could come off tomorrow, and then all of a sudden the market's surging back and you've missed out on one of the good days in the market.
So the bottom line, if you have a 401k, don't have a knee-jerk reaction, but pay attention to your investments and make a change when you think it's right. In Plantation, Joan Murray, CBS News, Miami.
When we come back, tired of South Florida traffic? So are many others. See why some are ditching their car keys for a metrorail ticket. Next.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Lauren Pastrana. South Florida neighbors raising the alarm on what they say is a public safety concern. They insist ATVs can be spotted day and night zooming through the busy streets of the Redland. CBS News Miami's Joe Gorcho shows us what's making residents so anxious.
I had a chance to speak with a handful of residents, some sharing videos with us anonymously. Now, those videos were recorded while driving next to all-terrain vehicles right here in the heart of the Redland. Now, only one agreed to talk as long as we could protect their identity, saying they were fearful of a retaliation from neighbors.
And I'm just worried that they're going to get hurt or unfortunately even killed.
Speaking inside a tiny shed in a backyard, this Redland resident hopes the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office will increase enforcement in the area. He showed us this video, which he says was recorded this past weekend. An ATV passes him on the left side. We see a group motoring down both sides of the road.
Bicycles have to obey traffic signs, stop signs, speed limit signs, so you would assume that these vehicles would as well. And they're not. They're clearly running red lights. They're passing on the median. They're on the bike paths and going up into other people's property to get around traffic jams.
Florida state statutes clearly state that ATVs cannot be driven on public roads or streets. Their operation is restricted to unpaved roads at speeds under 35 miles an hour. The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office confirmed over the phone that the same rules apply throughout this county. More than one resident showed us videos of what appears to be ATVs operating on main roads or neighborhood streets in the Redland.
I've seen them lose control and wreck into fencing or signs, tear up some grass.
And he tells us he's seen more and more driving on paved roads over the last decade.
It's a daily and current occurrence, but it peaks during the weekends and a lot at night as well.
I asked the sheriff's office if they plan to increase patrol in the area and if they're aware of these types of vehicles operating in the Redland, or if any residents have made any complaints about any damages. We're still waiting to hear back. Reporting in the Redland, Joe Gorcho, CBS News Miami.
A new study finds South Florida is home to one of the busiest stretches of road in the nation. We're talking about US 1 through Coconut Grove, and there may be a solution to all those delays. CBS News Miami's Austin Carter has more with how we can get around it.
Between the stoplights and honking car horns, US 1 and Coconut Grove can be a tough spot, and nothing makes the congestion feel worse than looking up and seeing this. Metrorail trains breezing by every few minutes.
It just becomes a little bit simpler. I can get to work. I literally work on Bird and 99th.
Commuters like this at the Douglas Road Station take the Metrorail daily on the stretch running along US 1.
Aside from the traffic, you actually get to see some of the nice sights that's out the windows.
And one of those sights is the congestion below. The most recent INRIX Global Traffic Scorecard finding that southbound US 1 between I-95 and Southwest 42nd Street ranks in the top 25 busiest corridors in the country. The worst time, 8 a.m. The study reports commuters losing 53 hours in traffic here in 2023.
US 1 is always congested.
Tala Habash is with Transit Alliance, a nonprofit group advocating for public transit access across South Florida. She works remotely and prefers the Metrorail than sitting in traffic on US 1.
You think you're going to get there faster by taking your car, but really you're adding that traffic, but also the stress of driving.
Data shows more people are turning to transit in Miami-Dade County. Metrorail ridership increasing 11% last year. County data showing some of their busiest stations so far this year were right along the US 1 stretch, including Douglas Road, Dadeland North, and Dadeland South stations.
It's better than not having it here, because for people that don't have cars, that don't have methods of getting around.
Tala says ridership will climb as transit becomes more competitive.
So that means expanding the Metrorail along the SMART plan to reach FIU, to reach down Flagler, to go more north to areas that can serve people in Wynwood. So things like that, that connectivity and access really allows people to make that choice more seamlessly.
That was Austin Carter reporting. And for perspective, in case you're wondering how Miami traffic compares globally, the study finds the Magic City is the 14th busiest city in the world, which is actually down from 11 the previous year. Big Money Baller, It's Your Birthday, Post and Delete. These are popular song titles, but a new proposal is hoping to make them the names of streets across Northwest Miami-Dade. Now, while the idea is causing a few chuckles, officials say the goal behind it is nothing to laugh about. CBS News Miami's Maribel Rodriguez has more.
They are some of the most famous phrases in music by artists all made in Miami-Dade. Trick Daddy's famous, Trick Love the Kid, and DJ Khaled, We the Best, among the dozens of song lyrics that could soon be street names.
Okay, what we're doing right now, we're trying to change the names on the streets to our music.
The idea coming from Commissioner Keon Hardiman. He represents and grew up in the 18th corridor in Liberty City.
I want people to feel good about their place. You don't have to leave the community to live in a better neighborhood, right? You can stay right here.
And he believes renaming more than 20 streets in that area with popular song titles and phrases will make a difference.
And it gives people a reason to come to 18th Avenue and actually take a picture next to one of these signs to say, wow, we're here.
On Tuesday, Commissioner Hardiman presented his proposal in the county commission meeting.
What I want to do was create a tourist attraction to 18th Avenue. And music is like the universal sort of thing that brings people together.
After the meeting, we walked the neighborhood with him as he spoke to residents about his vision and what it could mean to the community and the artists.
DJ Khaled is going to have something named after him here. The City Girls, who were born and raised down the street, they're going to be exalted here. Mike Smith. I mean, these are all names that you may not know, but the community that this is around, they know and they love, and they're from the Miami area.
Well, this proposal was deferred in today's commission meeting. However, it will be back on the agenda for the next meeting on the 18th, and maybe then we will know if these 20-something streets will be renamed with popular songs like It's your birthday street. In Liberty City, Maribel Rodriguez, CBS News, Miami.
When we come back, see why a South Florida woman ditched her scrubs to spread smiles, love, and cheer at one local hospital. That's next.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Lauren Pastrana. An emerging treatment plan is now trending on social media and taking the skin industry by storm. Red light therapy promises to reduce the appearance of wrinkles, redness, and scarring while also boosting your overall health. But does it actually work? CBS News Miami's Chelsea Jones went under the light to find out.
They say the magic happens underneath the red light.
And this is not going to burn my face off?
No. Okay. No sort of burning the face off here. So I like to compare it to photosynthesis.
It's called red light therapy, and head healer at Sana Skin Studio, Julia Sakani, says the benefits are wide-ranging.
You can use it to treat anything really from acne, anti-aging, any sort of inflammation, wound healing.
You usually see them at the dermatologist's office or anywhere you can get a facial.
Red light specifically is going to penetrate a little bit deeper into the dermis layer of your skin, so it's able to kind of signal to your tissue to help repair itself.
Here's how the process works. You cleanse the skin and then apply the red light mask or panel.
And what is this supposed to feel like when you put it on?
So I will normally tell people that this feels a lot like sitting under the sun at the beach. So I'll usually put these goggles over to protect the eyes. It's not really damaging to the eyes, but some people are more sensitive to light than others. And then I'll lower pretty slowly just so that the eyes have a second to adjust. You want it close to the face. A lot of at-home masks will be touching the skin actually.
Sakani says the dangers are minimal.
There's no real study on any danger that's come out. Really the only thing is if you have some sort of contraindication. So like in our facial, something I'm looking for is someone on Accutane.
Or any other medications that might make you light sensitive. The Cleveland Clinic states the treatment appears safe, but if misused, there is a chance of damage to skin or eyes. Elise Benson is a red light enthusiast and says it works wonders.
So I started red light therapy beds because I am super into anti-aging and skin and body health.
Benson has a mask and also uses a red light bed. She says her overall health has gotten a boost.
First and foremost, I'm actually wearing no makeup. You can see that my skin is pretty flawless. It's just helped with all the collagen. It helps with fine lines and wrinkles. It also helps with my hair growth.
There are red light masks just like this all over the market, but do they work? Research says they do, but it depends on the wavelength.
Not everything's created equal, so if you're not getting the right wavelength of light, which is very specific for LEDs, you're not going to be getting the benefits.
There are many masks on the market ranging in price in the 300s and going up to well over 2,000, but you have to be careful.
You want to make sure that the brand that you bought the mask from is reputable and has those either trials or like that one is FDA approved, so you know that there's been studies done.
So do they work? Sakani says the answer is yes, if you're consistent and have the right tools at home. In Coconut Grove, Chelsea Jones, CBS News, Miami.
This week's All New Miami Proud celebrates Women's History Month. We are spotlighting a woman who, for decades, has been putting smiles on the faces of young patients at Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital. CBS News Miami's Erica Gonzalez shows us the unique way Linda Herbert is helping sick kids and their families.
Linda Herbert started off in the health field as a respiratory therapist, but along the way, she found a different way to help patients feel better.
So I took a little clown course at Broward Community College back in 1986.
She used her newly acquired skills and gear to volunteer at Memorial Regional Hospital as Lotzi Dotzi.
We did bubbles, we did magic. It was so much fun.
The clown act was a hit, and in the early 90s, Herbert permanently swapped the scrubs for a clown suit when hospital leadership at Joe DiMaggio's hired her to be their very first full-time clown.
I just want to get in my car and drive to work, and I want to promote love and happiness.
For 36 years, she's been clowning around the halls of this hospital, giving sick patients a reason to smile. Patients like Nicolette Schulman.
She's very kind. I love her.
She looks forward to playtime with Lotzi at the hospital.
She always blows bubbles, and she puts songs on, I really like.
Her father, Mark, appreciates the lighter moments as his little girl battles cancer.
She just brings a smile to everyone's face, including ours. They did a really good job with serving, I guess there's the emotional side to this journey. So Lottie's basically the hub of the wheel, and everyone else kind of spokes off of her.
Alan Greisman, a pediatric ICU doctor, has had a first row seat to Lottie sharing her love and light.
We just owe a debt of gratitude to Lottie for being who she is and how much she cares and all she's done over the years.
Herbert recognized a long time ago Lottie Dotsie is a gift to others, and playing this beloved character would be her life's greatest joy.
My mom always said, when you find your purpose, you'll do it with your heart and soul. And I think I found my purpose here at Memorial Healthcare System, Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital, that's for sure.
Erica Gonzalez, CBS News, Miami.
Thanks for joining us this half hour on Headliners. As always, keep it right here to CBS News Miami for up-to-the-minute breaking news and weather 24 hours a day. Make it a great one.